everybody. Hey, I'm so excited to be here. I see people are in Adelaide, one of my favorite countries, cities in Australia, Melbourne. I'm so excited to see you from wherever else you are. I just am so happy. Now, if I saw somebody wrote, where can we download the worksheet? You can download the worksheet, or the other option, which is big, bold, and brave, which is how we want to start this session, is you can get a piece of paper like this and turn it sideways. And then I want you to just draw what you see behind me. In the cloud, you put your name, not the future of now. And then on the left side of the paper, write current state. On the right side, write future state, and in the center, put 3 bold steps. So that'll get you ready to go. I'll do a drawing warm up with you, of course, but if you want to use the template, do, because it contains everything, and containment is good when we're talking about the future, because you want to have a picture. So why are we using pictures for future cast, right? One of the things that I've found is most of us want to make change in some way, right? How many of you have, I want you to use the hand raise function in reactions. So press your reactions button. I want you to raise your hand on the screen if you feel like in the last year you made some big major change in 2021. Anybody make big major change? Put your hand up. Okay, good. Now we all had COVID change, right? Like we all got vaccinated or didn't. We all had jobs or didn't, we changed and started to be more of an entrepreneur or didn't. And so this is an opportunity anytime that you face a change, if you draw a picture of it, where you want to be in the future, and then you put that picture somewhere you can see it every day, like your bathroom mirror or the dashboard of your car, and you look at it and you daydream it, and then you take small incremental actions on it, you increase your chance of success of stepping into that future by 42%. 42%. I mean, like, who would want that? Raise your hand if you want 42%. Just put it up there. Yes, of course, we do. And so part of it is that only 1 out of 10 of us, when facing a major change, will make it. And why? We'd rather die than change. That's what's true, because our way our brain is set up, it loves everything to be consistent. It wants you to stay the same if you can. So today, I'm going to show you a way to leapfrog over your current reality into a future you, and some brain science behind why you want to do it. So in my world, I learned how to do this because before I was a speaker or, worked with corporations or any of that, I was an actor, and I was a performance artist, right? Where you do some bad mime and then you make up a movie and then a rap and you mix it all together and then you subject an audience to it for an indeterminate amount of time. Like, that's what I did. And so after one of my shows, my friend Molly, she goes, hey, you should really go to New York and take some real acting lessons. And I was like, oh, really? And then I was like, okay, I will. So I did. I went there, and I happened to get the opportunity to stay with this woman. Her name is Dale Souls. She was a famous Broadway actress, and she's in Orange is the New Black right now, right? And so she let me stay in her 4th floor walk-up in Brooklyn, and she got me into acting school with Uta Hagen. Uta Hagen wasn't my teacher, but Stephen Strumpel was. And I would, take the subway over there, and I'd go there, and I would walk through the Broadway district to get to my classes. And, I would ask her these questions like, Dale, what was it like to be on Broadway? Tell me about it. And she goes, come on, let's go see a show. She takes me backstage. We meet the actors. She goes, if you were on Broadway, where would you want your opening night party to be? And I was like, I don't know. She goes, well, oh, Tavern on the Green. Let's go there. So she takes me there and she shows me that. And then she has me imagine what it would be like if I were on Broadway. Who did I want to meet? And this is me. I'm thinking, like, this is back in the day. So I wanted to meet Eddie Murphy and Lily Tomlin, because that's the kind of character comedy I did. And then I put it out of my mind, and the summer goes over and I go back to Seattle, where I live, where the rain comes down all the time, which people, if you're from New Zealand, you understand that. And so I'm living in Seattle, and I'm a waitress, of course, because that's what you do if you don't get any acting jobs, which I couldn't because I didn't look the part. You can imagine if you can just roll this back many years, and my hair back then was chartreuse, right? So I would go to audition, they'd be like, not you, not next time. Well, I get this call one day to go and audition at the Seattle Repertory Theater because they're looking for performance artists. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. So I go there and audition. I get up there to the door. I'm telling you, the line went around the block, but I get up there for my audition spot and they want me to do a dance routine. Now, I'm not a real actor. I'm not a dancer. So I just do this funny little routine. And then I do like this pop and lock thing segment. And then I just fall down dead. And this amazing thing happens. I get into the show. And then the show goes from this little tiny theater to the main stage at the Seattle Rep. And then 6 months later, it goes from the Seattle Rep to the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. And 6 months later, where does it go? Where do you think? Yeah, Broadway. Yeah, opening night party is where? Tavern on the Green, right? And so during the run of the show, who do I get to meet? No, I don't get to meet them. I get to meet Steve Martin and Robin Williams. And so this is me. I'm like blown away. How did this happen? And I realized I had been obsessing about the future. I had held it in my mind. So then I wanted to hack it all the time. I wanted to see if I could make more money. I wanted to see if I could meet interesting people. I wanted to see if I could change my career. And I did. And then I ended up working in business because, I became a drama therapist as a result of all of this. And, there's so much drama in business that there's plenty of space to get things done, right? So I went into a meeting, a very dramatic meeting. And in the meeting, there was a guy who put a piece of paper up on the wall and he drew a picture of our future. Now, this was 20 years ago. So people weren't drawing pictures in meetings 20 years ago, let me just say. And I was like this, oh my God, that guy is making so much money drawing pictures. I'm going to do that. I was poster girl in high school. I can do that. So I did. I trained myself how to do it. I went and did an internship. And on the way, I discovered that what I had been doing is really drawing a picture of where I was right now. If I drew a picture of it from a psychological perspective, it gave me distance on it. This was no longer my reality. It was suddenly somebody else's life, and I could analyze it and see what needed to change, right? And then if I dreamed my future state and I drew it into a picture, like all these things started to happen right away. And the only thing I needed to do for my amygdala, the part of your brain that's got to have a plan, is to put these 3 bold steps. And so I've been using this process and modifying it and changing it and doing it with people all around the world. And I gave a talk about it. 6 million people watched it. And I got 432,000 comments on it. And most of the comments said, my drawing skills suck. And so I bet your drawing skills suck too. Would you say that? How many of you raise your hand if you think your drawing skills suck? Okay, good. We're going to break that right away because mine did too. When I saw the guy draw in the room, I had good handwriting, but I couldn't draw. And so I'm going to show you how to draw, and then I'm going to show you how to use the process. Sound like fun? Are you ready? Put it in the chat. Are you? Who was the guy?
Who was the guy? There's a question. Who was the guy, Patty?
That was drawing. That was drawing in the meeting. His name was Gordon Rudeau. Gordon Rudeau. And he had a company called What Box, not Wet Box. It was What Box. And so I always called him Wet Box because I couldn't help myself. My company's Up Your Creative Genius. Just go figure, right? And so, so that's what he did. All right. So everybody have a pen and your paper, right? Everybody got it? Okay, good. So let's get started because don't you think it'll be fun? Aren't you ready? I'm going to tell you something right now. I guarantee you that you drawing a picture of your future is going to change something inside of you. I can guarantee it because I've done it so many times and everybody has an experience. So get ready for it, okay? It's going to happen faster than you ever thought. So let's do it. All right. So I'm going to bring down my piece of paper And I'm just going to do some warm-up drawing for you. All right. So pin me if you haven't already so you can see what I'm doing. Now, everybody knows that these are basic shapes, right? Everybody can draw these simple shapes. So let's start here. Start with these. This is the visual alphabet. Everybody uses it. When they teach you drawing, this is what they say. But here's the fun thing about it. And you could put a period, a comma, a line like that. Everything in your room, what you look at is made of these shapes, and people will tell you this. But here's what I want to do. I want to show you how to turn anything, any of these shapes into an object. So let's turn this into a building by putting the number 7 on it. That becomes our windows. Then we're going to put it on the ground. And you know, we could make it all fancy if we want to by putting a trapezoid on this one side. Like that. Now we've got a 3-dimensional box. We don't need to though. Now let's move on to this one. Let's turn it into the house that I live in Texas now. I moved here during COVID. It's very scary here. Just take it in. It's scary in Texas. It really is. But all the houses look like this. It's weird. They're like troll doll houses. And so make that house. And then put a door on it, you know, and the window. And then I guess there's going to be a big window up here, but they don't do that on those houses. They don't do anything pretty up here. They just have that big weird thing. I don't know what it's for. And then this, let's turn it into a sun, shall we? Now, most people, when I ask them, you know, what should we turn this into? They'll say, let's turn it into a person. But in fact, nobody, if you look in this Zoom, there is not a single person that has a round head here. Do you see anybody? No. So we don't ever want to start drawing people with a round head. All right, so let's just put an emoji in there just so the sun has a face. Here's my favorite one. This is how I feel sometimes. I like it better when you turn on your camera because then we can all make those emoji faces. And I did a grit and pedal coffee cup. Hey, I've got it right here. I'm going to show you. So here's my grit and pedal coffee cup because I really love cycling, but I think it's really hard. So, you know, I did that, my favorite emoji in there. All right. Now let's do one last thing, which is let's draw your favorite food. Okay. So I want you to just draw a picture of your favorite food. Here's mine. I like a good burger. And I know it's not a vegan burger. I'm sorry for those of you that don't eat meat. I won't eat lamb because I went to New Zealand on a tour and I was like, oh, you eat too much meat, lamb over here. They're so cute. We went lambing and then they died and then they threw them in the back of the truck like it was nothing. You know, I know you probably have lambs there too. Anyway, draw your burger or whatever your favorite food is. And then I would love to see a couple of pictures. So if anybody wants to show us your picture, just for fun, put your hand up, and then Dan will pin you. Put your hand up. Look, you can see her name is Catherine, and she's got hers up. See if we can pin her. Can you do it? I can pin her. I'm co-host. I got her. Yeah, oh, that's so ice cream is your favorite?
You get pinning. Patti, you pin. You do the pinning because you can.
I did. I pinned it. All right. Fantastic. That's beautiful. All right. Good. Oh, what else should we look at? Anybody else want to show it? Oh, here. See Belle. Yeah, Belle. Show Belle's picture. Want me to pin her? I can. I'll pin her. I got her. I beat you. Look, this is an ice cream. These are ice cream freaks in here. Everybody, how many of you, please put your hands up. How many of you have ice cream as your drawing? Your favorite drawing? I want to know. I don't believe you. I think you must have ice cream. Okay. How many of you have a burger? Put your hand up. Taco? I want to see who likes tacos. And then I want to know what David has in Adelaide. David, what was your favorite food? Let's see. I'm going to pin it. Do you mind if I pin you? There we go. Oh, I see. You know, you have a virtual background on, so I can't see it, unfortunately. But push it close to the camera.
Patti, David's in space every time. He's always in space.
He's always in space. Okay,
yeah,
that's
literally in space.
I love it. That's fantastic. Nachos. Oh, sushi. Yes, noodles. Yeah, nudies. All right, good. Put your David. Are you going to take off your thing so we can see your drawing? Come on. We're ready. Take off your virtual background. You know how? Go over to your video and then click the up button and then take it off. There, unclick it. We don't care what it looks like. There, look at these nice drawings. I knew it. What is that? Is that like a bento box? It looks like a bento box. Can you unmute him? Will you let him speak? Will you unmute him?
I'm just doing it now.
Okay, good. He's unmuting you. Oh yeah, it's pizza, hot dogs. It's a TV tray. It's a dinner. It's a, are you guys?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, curry.
It's curry. Oh my gosh, it is.
Rice.
Of course it's curry.
Rice, roti, curries.
I love that. It's so good. Don't you think? Now listen. So here's what I want you to do no matter what. I want you to look at your drawing that you drew, the one you just did. And I want you to say out loud, so everyone in the room, in the house, they're like, what are you doing? And I want you to say out loud, that is fantastic. Okay, say it with me. That is fantastic, because we have to rewire the brain. And now we're about to rewire the brain in a big way. So that is fantastic that you all drew like that. Just think, and you will go back to, and your critic's going to get in there and say bad things to you. You just shoo it away, you know, rub your two fingers together, do some PQ reps, you know, get yourself from the back to the front. And now I'm going to pull this down because we're done experimenting with drawing. Now we're going to do some real stuff. So on the left side of this page, on the current state, I want you to write and draw what it feels like in your world right now. So you could focus on your business, you could focus on your whole life, you could focus on your health. It doesn't matter, it's you choose. And those of you that are analytical, look up at me right now. If you're analytical, do not make a list. This is not list building. This is about, I'm going to put a word here and then one here and then one here, and then I'm going to draw some pictures. So you, for example, you might, you know, have a really great job, right? You love your job. It's fantastic, whatever you work for yourself or whatever, you know, and then you draw yourself there. And you, of course, now we all sit on Zoom a lot of the time. So I'll put you there. And so this job, you might love it, you know, so you got a great job. I'm just giving you an example. So capture what's going well first, like maybe you're making money, maybe you have a good relationship, maybe you're being creative, maybe you're an artist and things, you know, you're doing NFTs, you know, tell me what's happening in your world, all the good stuff, because we always start with the good stuff because it's so easy to revert to the bad stuff, the stuff that's challenging. So do the good stuff first and just write a few words. Draw a few pictures. Somebody's hungry after doing all that food, I relate. And then after you've done the things that are going well, like work and creativity and relationship and, you know, partners and, you know, clients, stuff like that. Then what would be great is if you would now also capture the things that are challenging as well. Like maybe you had COVID, or maybe you lost your job, or maybe you're taking care of your parents, or maybe your kids are driving you crazy. Or all these things. I want you to capture some of those. And when I do this, sometimes I color code it. I do the good things in blue and I do the other things in red, and just draw a few pictures of it. And before we start to share anything, which I want you to share in the chat, and then we're probably gonna unmute a few of you to have you say stuff out loud, because it's so much more fun when you're unmuted, I think. That's just me. So what's going well and what's challenging? Before we hear from you, I want you to think about the challenge in a new way. So somebody give me a challenge, put a challenge in the chat so I can just reframe it in a different way. So who's got a challenge they're willing to just share in the chat? Oh yeah, caring for, okay, lack of capacity. Family member really sick. Okay, insecure work. Okay, good. All right. So now let's assume this is how I approach the world. I assume, and this is my perspective, so if you don't share it, I'm okay with that. But just know that in my world, I believe everything without exception happens for you to grow. And so if this is happening, you're having to care for your aging parents. If you are insecure about your job or it's unsettling, I want you to think about if you are earning and gaining a superpower from that challenge, what would the superpower be that you're getting? What are you getting from it? Because every experience is there for you to grow from. So you've got to be learning something from having to take care of your parents. I had to do that too. It was not fun. So I can imagine. So think about that. Okay, cool. Now let's hear some of the things that are going well. Put some of the things that are going well, and then we'll revisit these things in the chat. So Dan, if you would read out to me what people write of things that are going well, and I'll capture them on my map.
Okay. So I'm just waiting for people to add. So Ben from Sydney says running and exercise. So that's something that's going really well for him. David, garden. Did I have gardens in space, David?
What?
Garden. So he's gardening. Sorry, I know David, so I can be a bit cheeky. Well, no, it doesn't give me permission. Sorry, David. Somebody's got a holiday planned. Somebody's fostering a nervous cat. Hiking in nature, we've got. Planning to travel again. I was looking at flights to the States, Patti, and they look cheap. So I'm trying to convince the family. Making consistent sales in my small business from Rhiannon. I'm going to just put awesome, started new job. David's job. Lani says variety of work.
Thank you.
We've got
What kind of work? What kind of work? Have her put what kind of work? Unmute her and let her tell us what kind of work.
Oh, Lani, come off mute. Let us know.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I just feel really lucky that I have lots of variety in the work that I do. I work at a law firm in innovation, and I get to help clients. I get to do pro bono work and help the community. And there's lots and lots of demand and variety, which is great and exciting, just trying to balance capacity.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Anybody else want to tell us what's going well? Just say something that's what
I've got a good one here. It's from, I just saw it before. It's Catherine's got hiking in nature. Did you get that one already?
No.
Hiking in nature. I just think that's kind of nice because sometimes we default to work, and it's really nice to like people kind of still have that attention outside, things going on outside as well. Catherine has started up her coaching and teaching practice again.
Fantastic.
Anyone else? Have we missed anyone? Don't be shy. I'm reading them out, so we're not going to pick on you. There's 40 people in the chat, 40 people in the room. So come on, don't be shy.
You can unmute and share something that's challenging.
I've got one for you. I've got another good one. Learning the ukulele from Jay.
Yes, very good.
I love that. I've got one for you as well from me, is watching my kids play soccer. My little one's just started a soccer club, so I'm super pumped.
Okay, fantastic. All right, now let's talk about what's challenging. Put some of those, tell me some of those things that you put in that were challenging.
Okay, I can find some for you. I'm going up in the chat because I think some people put some before. So somebody put a lack of capacity.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a chance, Patti.
Thank you. And then also dealing with aging parents.
Yeah, that was the next one I was going to go in. Another one's transitioning back to the workplace as well. I'm going to pick this one out just because I just want to appreciate and show some gratitude to this person for being so transparent and vulnerable in the group, which is amazing. And I know she's an amazing person as well, so I've known her for a while. It's Eleanor's going for a divorce at the moment. So, you know, she put it in the chat, and I just want to acknowledge that. I didn't want to ignore it. So that was, you know, that was really amazing. Thank you so much for, you know, feeling so vulnerable and being able to share that.
Yeah, thank you.
What else have we got? Garden wouldn't be something that's challenging. It's challenging for me because of all the weeds. I'm forever weeding. There you go. There's one for you, Patti. Weeding. We've got somebody who's got transitioning back to the workplace, which you captured before. No performing lifelong vocation. Hold. I'm not too sure what you mean by Serafina.
That's good.
I think that's enough. You ready to?
My performance lifelong vacation on hold from pandemic. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, good. So pandemic, I think is, now let's say.
Oh, thank you.
Let's go on to one thing.
I've got one more.
So if you, what were you going to say, Dan?
I was going to say pushing 60, somebody put pushing 60 as a challenge.
Pushing 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, come on. So let's draw that because, you know, okay, now, so let's assume that we're getting a superpower from this challenge. I want somebody to put in there, what's the superpower that you're gaining from this experience of lack of capacity? What are you learning? What are you learning about for the pandemic? What did we learn from this going back to work? What are you learning?
Okay, I'll focus on the chat so you can just see your call. So we got the same one that I would respond with in regards to the pandemic would be resilience.
What else?
Learning self-love.
Thank you.
And we've got rediscovering yourself.
Yep, thank you.
What else we got? Adaption. Adaption. I think that's massive. And being resourceful as well.
Yes, thank you.
I'm gonna call out Catherine's. I'm not going to read it word for word, but I think we all know what it is. Boundaries between work and personal life, especially when you're at home. Having that boundaries.
Yeah.
Also, Zerafina mentions superpower gratitude for having been able to perform around the world and understanding how important it is for audiences. So I can relate to that, Patti, how we met as well. Being remote, we were able to connect globally. Ben's got baking as a superpower.
I love it.
Yeah, my iPhone won't recognize me now because I've put on all my COVID fat around my cheeks. So I have to.
I was going to say my COVID 25, right? That's what I just say. COVID 25. Okay, that's fantastic. All right, so let's talk about this now. So just for a second, I want you to, you know, shade in or color in some piece of this left side of your picture in some way. You know, my favorite thing to do is to just drop shadow a few things. So I have a brush marker. And so I just love to, on the left side, I assume the light's up here, and I just drop shadow things here because it makes them look more three-dimensional. And I drew a little cape there, a badly drawn cape, because I don't worry anymore about whether I can draw or not after all these years. I'm like, whatever, it looks like whatever. And people will ask you, what is that? And you just go, it's a cape, right? And so part of what we do is we let our critic just kind of drop out of the picture. Now, one of the things I've been obsessed about recently is flow, because when you draw and you dream, you actually enhance your ability to drop into flow. And so one of the most powerful things you can do for dopamine in your system, right, and raising your serotonin and getting yourself out of any funk is to draw and dream a positive future. And so now, but to break ourselves from the past, we kind of have to do like a little brain gym thing. So first, I want you to just take your elbow, left elbow, stand up. Everybody stand up. Stand up, put your right elbow on your left knee. So we're going to do like a cross gym like that. Just do that. Don't hurt yourself, okay? only do what you can. And then for those of you that don't feel like getting up, because I don't care, I want you to go like this with your finger. Just do the infinity symbol in the air, because the infinity symbol is another way that you just integrate your brain. And the last thing, and this is my favorite new thing I learned, which is this positive intelligence from this guy from Stanford. His name is Shazir or something like that. But he would say this to do a PQ rep. So you take your fingers and you rub them together with such intention that you actually feel the ridges in your fingers. And and then you take your fingers of one hand and you rub them against the fingers of the other. And then you rub your palm with one of your set of your fingers. Just do that. It's like the weirdest thing, but let me just say, it'll calm you down totally, which is what we want when we're going to draw our future. We want the amygdala, who's worried about all that red stuff, out of the way. And so we just do anything we can to calm ourselves down. And then we imagine that it is like 1, 3, 5 years in the future, in the best case scenario, meaning there's no hold barred, right? You can just go all out there. And on this right side of your picture, I want you to first capture 3 years from now, what will it feel like in the best case scenario? How will you feel? Like, will you be totally creative? Will you be stable? Will you be, what are the things that come to you? And I want you to write down, remember analyticals, please scatter this around your page. And just write a few words about how you will feel. Just imagine it. Best case scenario. How will you feel? And just get 3 or 4 things. Like maybe you'll feel loved. Maybe you'll feel confident. Maybe you'll feel grateful. And remember, we just write the word first and then we draw a little picture.
How you going, Patti?
Yeah, and then I want you to just add a few details now. Let's get specific. Let's say, okay, so maybe you put over there in your mind, you're thinking money, but you might want to put over there abundance, some kind of abundance for you, or maybe being in nature, right? Or the ability to be like creatively, outrageous creativity. And I let this happen organically. I just like think of the wildest things, like, what if I met, you know, whoever, fill in the blank? What if I saw? What if I won? What if they wrote? And then fill in that blank of all the things that you lay awake at night and you dream about. The things that you think, oh, that would be so crazy. That would be so cool. You get a Harley, you drive it across Australia. You get featured in a film. You draw a picture, shows up on the side, you know, New York City. Something happens that really stretches you out of your comfort zone, like the most outrageous things you can think. I just want to say, I don't ever win the lottery, because I think that, to me, the odds against it are so small, but other things happen. Trophies show up. Abundance shows up. Outrageous clients you never dreamed you were going to have. Relationships. You think, wow, how could I possibly have met that person? That was amazing, right? So amaze yourself in your future. And you can draw just some pictures and not even know what they are. Just draw a picture of something and just leave it without labeling. And So Dan, I want to send them into breakout to share with each other. Can we do that? How can you set up the breakouts?
Apps, come on, I'm a professional. I've got the breakouts. They're all ready to go. We're ready to rock. You
I
tell
knew
me,
that.
Patty.
I just said it like it was a casual thing that was going to happen.
I
So
know, we're
here's
doing
what,
practices. Go,
So-
you tell me what.
I know that you're still drawing these pictures of your future, right? So I know that they're going to share different people. So I would say, make sure everybody gets to share like a couple things off their future. Try not to share of the current reality because it will pull you back there. And we want a future cast. So we want to step into that future as much as we can. And words are powerful. So if you feel like on your future state, you don't have stress and you write no stress, remember when you tell a child don't go near the pool, the only thing they remember is that there is a pool and they're going to find it. They don't remember no. And that's how your brain is. It won't remember the no, it only remembers the image. So put an image of what you want. If you want calm, if you want peace, if you want happiness, if you want love, put the things that you do want, not the things you don't. And then Dan, let's send him into a breakout for, what do you think? 5 minutes? 5 minutes. Let's go into a breakout for 5 minutes. You're going to meet people and don't just, show your picture, focus on your picture. Okay.
Now? Shall I do it now?
Do it now. Let's do
Just
it
like
now.
hovering over the button. All right. See you later. I'll see you soon.
Okay,
5
see
minutes.
you later. Remember to click the button that says go to breakout. Okay, cool.
They're gone. All right, Patty, we should still be together. So I'm gonna. Awesome. Hey, Dinara, still with us?
Hi, everybody.
Oh, they'll be back. They're not quite back yet. Here they are.
That's okay. I'm just going to keep coloring as fast as I can.
Ah,
There we go.
hey, everyone. Welcome back.
All right. Hi, everybody. Okay, good. So now let's start by, will you share with me in the screen? Let's see here. Hold on. Let me just close this. Share with me in the chat, if you would, some of the things that are on the future state side. So I can add it over here. You see, I got our left side all colored in while we're all in that breakout. So what did you see? Were there any common themes amongst you? You don't have to just share those, but what's on the right side? What were some of the feelings that you captured first? And then Dan, will you read those out to me, please?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we've got creativity was one.
Thank you. What else?
We had community.
Thank you.
I think community is a big one. Someone I've been working from home, so it's nice to connect with real people. Confidence, somebody said.
What else? What else
We've
have you got?
abundance, confidence. I've got more connected, which is kind of similar to confidence. We've got joyful. Somebody's put joyful. Move to a new country, somebody put. Feeling valued, somebody else put.
Thank you.
Sustainable and eco-friendly fashion. So I think that's quite specific. That might be somebody in regards to their career, their future career. Music.
Does it say sustainable fashion?
Sustainable and eco-friendly fashion.
Oh yeah, good. I love that. I want to connect with that person so I can figure out what kind of t-shirts I should be printing. My patterns. Okay, good. Creativity. I missed a few things. Stan, go back.
No, you haven't. You're cool. You're cool. We've got music.
Sustainable, moving, abundance. I can't remember
We've got feeling valued. We've got music. Music's another.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I'm going to add one of mine, mindfulness, being more mindful. I think that whole spirituality, being on your own and being able to.
All right, and then any specifics?
Self-love we've got in there. And somebody else put no regrets. Anyone else want to share? Please do. I won't be reading out your name, don't worry. New house. Somebody put a new house.
Oh, fantastic.
We got published book. Please keep us informed how you go with that.
Oh, that's so great. I love it. These things, right? If you've dreamed about having a book, this is where you want to put it. If you've dreamed about just that, total abundance or creating that career, this is the place to put it. If you dreamed about partnership, creativity, all those things. What else we got in that chat?
Being fit.
Access to awesome global something or other. Being
got
fit. Yes.
Fit.
Yeah, fit.
Mastery, somebody put.
Oh, I love it.
Spending more time outside in nature.
Thank you. So one of the things, I've been just really obsessed about is this idea of flow and how to create it. One of the easiest way to create flow is to get outside and do something challenging, like hike and climb something hard, go surfing a wave that's a little too big. Take yourself out of your comfort zone by riding your bike. These things, if you take a problem into that space, you'll have better ideas come to you in that. All right, cool. Anything else we want to add up here on our mutual?
I've got travel as well, and I've got growing food for my family. Hot tip, don't grow basil. It's terrible. It's just really hard to maintain. I could swing my camera around and I can see it right there wilting in the sun. Somebody put write and release a new album we've got. New partnerships. Have I missed anything? Please come off of mute, let me know, add it in. Committed relationship, somebody else put.
Thank you.
Be a keynote speaker for an event.
Thank you.
Mine's going to be watching more Netflix in the evening with my wife, because I've got 2 little boys and they'll be a bit more grown up in 3 years. So hopefully we won't be putting them to bed every night. Execute on ideas. Greg, there shouldn't be anything stopping you. Come on. Anyone else?
And our group talked a lot about finding purpose, being purposeful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. Purposeful.
All right, good. This is really great. And such a deep, Dan and I were talking about what a deep group it was, and we really appreciated all the transparency of sharing. Really makes a huge difference. I was thinking too, I think COVID has changed us in a lot of ways. We're talking about real things instead of being very superficial, and I love that. It's one of the advantages, I think. Now, all right, so here, now we've got this future state, which is really amazing. And if somebody said something that you thought, oh, I should put that on my map, that was one of my dreams too. Put it on yours too, add it to your map. It's really important. This is what we do. We're like Shakespeare and we steal from each other. That's where great ideas come from. Mash them up and then come up with something new. Now, so we have this left side of your picture, which is the current reality. And then we have this desired new reality. What's true is that the past now is kind of this archive library. That's what's happened. It's now in the archives. Because your brain doesn't know the difference between past, present, and future. When we draw and dream the future, it believes the future is now. It doesn't understand time, especially when you're in flow. Time disappears and you go into this space where you just are. And so all of these things right here on your right side, I want you to just choose 1 or 2 that you really, really want and highlight them on your paper. Highlight them for yourself, so that you call them out. Because, the world is so distracting now that you just want to call out a few things. These are the things that this would be so cool, right? Then we're going to close the gap. And the amazing thing about your brain is it's already closed the gap. It already knows how to get from point A to point B. So we have to turn it up on high. And the way we turn it on high is we ask ourselves, what would be the boldest thing I could do to get myself from here to here? The boldest thing, because one of them should scare the poop out of you, because that's a bold thing, right? It really should. The other one could be tactical, and the third is often a mindset shift. But what would really scare you to go from here to there? What's one thing you've been kind of sitting on and you think, oh, maybe I should do that, quit my job, or maybe I should just, whatever, fill in the blank. And so I want you to first come up with a bold step. You can close your eyes sometimes to get the bold step. or you can just grab what comes to you intuitively. You can brainstorm a whole bunch of ideas, but choose the highest, most strategic thing, meaning that bold step, you'd have to do like 10 or 15 things to make it happen. And then that tactical one is something like, if you have your own business, like get a marketing plan or, these kinds of things, right? Or hire someone, who, not how, right? Dan Sullivan would write, who, not how. And then the third is a mindset shift. Like if you need to let go of an old belief you have about yourself, or you need to really step into it, with more courage, that's the kind of thing that often goes on that third step. And this is in my experience of doing hundreds of these maps. So come up with 3, and then somebody put one in the chat or unmute and tell us what's one of your bold steps, and I'll help elevate it if it's, or I might find a way for it to be, can you repeat those 3 steps? Yes, of course. So the first one is bold, kind of scare you, poop, scary. And then second one is tactical. It's like, something it's bold, but it's still pretty tactical. You got to do it. It's a do thing. And then the third is a be thing. How do you need to be different in order to step into that future? I was watching this thing that Oprah did because I was looking for keywords because I'm doing a free 5-day challenge on Draw Your Future. It's coming up, but I've been learning, training myself all the time with new things. And so I was thinking keyword. So vision board, I thought put that in. And then up comes Oprah. And then up comes this video of Oprah, and what's she talking about? She's talking about vision boarding and how she doesn't need to do it anymore because she's aligned her energy field to that. So she understands now how to vibrate at the level of that future self. Does that make sense? So part of what we do is we use the rest of the layperson who doesn't have like millions of dollars and you could do anything and have your own avocado farm. We just, we put it in a bold step, and then we get ourselves to vibrate at that energy field, right? But we want it in front of us. And some of you may already understand how to do that. And so kudos to you. And I can, in some ways, spin the universe. But what's a bold step? Is bold meant to be one of the dreams on the sheet? No, it's an action to one of those things. It's something you think you need to do to get there. It's a do thing. So, so it's something you need to do. What would you need to do that would be big and bold? Let me see. I want to hear from Rhiannon in Melbourne. Tell me, what's one of your bold steps? You can unmute.
Thanks, Patti. So my bold step is to audition for a play. So I want to get on stage.
Okay, I love it. And I would say to the rest of you, this might be on yours to get out there. Meaning put yourself out there. I want you to know that I just did an individual session for somebody like this, and that's what she did. And she already got a call back. So just know that, okay? Just know that, believe that that's true, because now we've created it. And so your brain already thinks that you are an actor and you're probably famous, and that's all gonna happen for you, okay? What else? Let's see who, how about Erica? What have you got as a bold step on your map? Unmute and tell me. In Calgary.
Hi, Patti. I'm struggling a little bit with my bold step. I think this is where I really get stuck. So I have this vision for
that's an old part of your personality. Yeah. Just so that personality is not permanent. And so in the new you really don't have any problem with the bold step. You might just need to finesse them a little more. It's a different way of looking at it, right? So what have you got so far? Let's brainstorm and help you.
I really want to, my vision is to be really doing purposeful work and community building in my facilitation practice. So,
okay. And so what do you do now in your facilitation practice?
More like product design and marketing kind of stuff.
All right. So you're going to align with your purpose, align work with purpose. That's your goal. Align work with purpose. Okay.
Thank you.
I like that, align. I want you to know that I'll tell you just a brief little tiny thing. One, when 9/11 happened, I was working at Chevron Texaco facilitating a change management session. And I vowed that day I would never work for a company that I didn't believe in again. And it changed me. It changed the work I did. And so now I only work for people that I love and products that I love because it makes a difference. And so they may never know, Chevron may never know, who cares? But I know, and that makes the difference, right? So good on you. I love that. Okay, somebody give me a mindset shift that you might need to make. Anybody have one? Let's see. I want to know what Ward from California thinks, or Rob from Oz. Either one of you. What's yours? Unmute, say what you think. What have you got for a mindset shift or a bold step, Ward?
I'd say it's a mind shift to more yes anding.
Okay, I love it. All right. So yes, and then what else? Somebody else, give me another mindset shift that you have. You can tell me what you've got, Rob from Oz.
Peaceful and purposeful.
Oh, thank you. I love it.
I'm leveraging that for my group breakout.
Okay,
So thank you,
good.
Erica. Credit goes to her because that purposeful just sums it up.
Yeah, it definitely does. Anybody else want to share one of their bold steps so I get it up here? Anybody else? I want to hear from Tonya. What have you got?
Yeah, I would say move. For me personally, just changing my mindset, thinking totally differently. I would just pick myself up and move, get into new state, new area.
Okay, good. I love it. Okay, good. Me too. You know, we moved to Texas during COVID. So what were we doing that for? Well, our nephew lives here and we needed to be near him. Clearly, as soon as we got here, he got in trouble. We got him out. It was good. You know, these things happen. And so this is what it's about. You listening. That's what the bold step is. You listening to your creative genius. That's what you do when you close your eyes and you ask, what do I need to do next? You're tapping your creative genius. That's what you tap in, flow. That is out there. It's the part of you that's been here for who knows how long, right? And so if you can know that that's accessible at any time, you're never going to be stuck. You just won't. You'll always be able to do something. All right. So I wanted to say this one thing about what you were saying, Erica. You know, how you see, this is what Benjamin Hardy would say. If you haven't read his book, Personality Isn't Permanent, he's one of my favorite writers about stuff, but he says how you see yourself is how you act. Input shapes outlook, outlook shapes behavior, but you're never stuck, right? Input shapes output, outlook, and outlook shapes behavior. Outlook shapes behavior. So if we step into that future state, and that's our goal really, is to step in there as firmly as we can. And in my world, the way that you use the map is, now we got these big bold ones like audition and get out there. That means there's a whole bunch of action steps under there that she's got to do. She, you know, or you getting yourself out there, or you moving. You have to identify where you're going to live, what you think would be fun to do. If you audition, you have to figure out what's your resume, get some headshots. You know, all these things are the minutia that help you do that. But that minutia does two things. One, it builds your confidence. Every time that you do a small action, if you say to yourself, oh man, that is so cool. I can't believe that happened. I'm so grateful. And then you take a moment to acknowledge it. What you do inside is you press that success button. The more times you press your success button, the more you hit that dopamine rush. Because if you don't do it around your success, your brain will do it around your failure because it wants to complete the story. Remember that you always have to focus on the success. Otherwise, you'll get success and that success button dopamine by you going backwards. And we want you to keep stepping into this future. All right. And then one last thing. How do you use the map going forward? This is it. So you've drawn this picture. I want you to full color it as much as you want. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it, if you're stuck on something, you can focus it on one thing, like just on your business or just on your health. But you can draw it in black and white. And then as things happen on the future state side, start to draw them in, color them in. So then you've got like this checkbox of your own happening. So the woman who I talked about, she got a trophy. She won Best Entrepreneur in Colorado. That's what she did. She put a trophy on the picture, not knowing what the trophy was going to be for. Sure enough, it showed up in her mailbox for the Best Entrepreneur in Colorado. This is just amazing, right? And it happens all the time. I have hundreds of stories just like that. So you put it somewhere you can see it every day. And then once a week, you spend a little dedicated amount of time and you review what you did. Wow, I did this, this, and this. This bold step is already done. I'm gonna have to create a new one. So you do. Or you figure out what's the action I'm going to do this week. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't try to do it all. Just do one little thing at a time, because it's the tiny habits and tiny changes that create the future you want. And then anytime you get stuck and you feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? Why am I here? This seems so ridiculous. I need to change something. Get a piece of paper and put on the left side current state, on the right side future state, 3 bold steps in the center, and draw a map back home to you. That's all this is about. And so thank you.